Hello, YouTubers and hams and shortwave listeners and very shortwave viewers. Anyway, this is Jarrad VK3BL trying to be funny, but I'm not very good at that, so let's stick to what I'm good at. Now, I got a lot of shock when I first pressed the touchscreen of the IC-R8600, and there was just numbers. Where was the 40-meter band? Where was the 20-meter band? Yada yada yada. Now, I realize this is a scanner, a shortwave listeners enthusiast radio. This is a general purpose receiver. It's not designed for the ham community specifically. So, as a good friend of mine said, why would there be shortcuts to the ham bands? But that said, I'm sure these will find their way into more than a few ham shacks. Now, this one is a lone unit. I'm just putting that out there. But I did want to show you guys one way that I've figured out how to, I guess, avoid the band shock, the shortcut shock, as I might call it. And that's to use the memories of the radio to store essentially the center of the ham bands. Now, what you can do with these radios is in memory, it'll store the attenuation, it'll store the mode, it'll store the antenna used, that sort of thing. It won't store the scope bandwidth. So, the fact that I've got it in centered minus 250 to plus 250, it's not going to store that. So, that's just the way it is. Now, I'm just going to go through and do a few examples. So let's press this and we'll go, sorry. Let me just, I've already set it up for top band and I have already written it to memory. But if you press memory right, you've selected VFO 0101, press memory right, hold it down. It'll say, do you want to overwrite? And I'm going to say yes. Now, if the memory's blank, it's not going to prompt you. So we'll see that next. Now I've gone and selected memory 2. So let's set up memory 2. Okay, so that's 80 meters, more or less in the middle. My antenna's wrong, so I'm going to go function antenna 2, which in this case is the UHF connector. I think I might have goofed on that on top band too, but not to worry. It's still an LSB band, so that's pretty much ready to go. We've got number 2 selected. We'll go memory right. Overwrite, yes. Okay. Now let's we'll go to number 3. And it says blank down the bottom there too, by the way. And let's pop in. Let's have a look here. 7150. 7100 is probably the middle for a lot of us. In Australia, there's a lot of shortwave broadcast stations above 7200, so this is pretty much the middle of the band for us. So I'll enter that in. Antenna 3, well, that's not going to cut it for me. It's remembered that obviously from playing around before. I'll go function antenna 2, which is the UHF connector. Now, do I want a preamp? Heck no on 40. Do I want an attenuator? Yeah, I might, but, it's something I'd turn on and off depending on the day. So we'll leave it at that. And then we'll go memory right again. Okay, there you have it. So, just as a sanity check, we'll go into memory mode for a second. And you can see that as you scroll between them, you've got top band. And it is on antenna 2, I didn't goof. You've got 80 meters. You've got 40 meters. Now, I don't have an antenna connected at the moment to antenna 2, so that's why there's not much of a sound or anything on the band scope, but that's fine. Not going to blow anything up. It doesn't have a transmitter. All right, so something I'm still getting used to. Okay, so now let's do 20 meters, or, I'll do 20 meters. I'm not going to do the WARC bands. I think, we don't need to cover those. You get the general idea. So let's go. Now, one thing we do have to bear in mind, if it's in memo, it's a bit of a pain to go and write the memory afterwards. It can be done, but it's a bit of a pain. So let's go back to VFO mode, and we'll go over to memory spot 4, and we'll go into everyone's favorite portion of 20 meters. Well, those of us who like SSB most, which is more or less, oh, you know what the heck, I'll do it for a bit of fun. We'll go right smack back on the DX call frequency. So there we go. LSB, nope, that's not going to cut it in this instance. Oh, use my other hand. Whoa, what are all these modes? What am I going to do? Oh, not CW. There we go. We've got upper sideband. So with this radio, you just toggle through them all. You don't need to hold it down or anything. You just toggle through. Oh, no, sorry. I stand corrected. You do have to hold it down. Yeah, so you toggle through to CW or, you know, the sideband. As you can see, it did actually auto-select USB because it knew it was 20 meters. So there is a bit of ham awareness in there, I suppose. But if you do want, for whatever reason, to change it, you just hold it down. Get out of that. Still on antenna 2. Definitely don't want a preamp. We'll go check that. You know, AGC mid being, I'm optimizing these for sideband service. That's perfect. I don't want a power amp on my station. Oh, I really would like to think you didn't either, but that's your choice. So we'll go and save that one. We'll just check that it's blank again. Hold down memory right. Now, actually, I'll just show you something. If you tap memory right, it will give you quite a few options. But I just like holding it down and doing that. So that works for me. So let's go to the next band, and once again go to 5, and we'll go over to 15 meters. So this is basically a good time to familiarize yourself with the band plan that your license lets you have. And you can see there's quite a bit of noise here at the moment. You can probably hear it in the background. Now that's because when I've got my air conditioning on, and believe me, the reason you're not seeing a video of me working the radio right now is it is hot in Australia and I am sweating like crazy. So it would not make for an attractive photo. Not that it normally does when you see my face, but this moment in particular wouldn't. So we're doing some close-ups with radios. Anyway, I'm definitely going to want to use antenna 2. Let's just say for some reason I actually do want to use the power amp, or the preamp, so I'll turn the preamp on. I don't think we've got levels. No, we don't. It's either on or off. Attenuation, by the way, has 3 levels, unlike the 7300, which is kind of cool. And very useful for when you're monitoring FM broadcast stations and the like. Power amp on. IP Plus, we recommend leaving that off unless you're in a situation when you need it. Basically, a busy contest, that sort of thing, crowded band. Read more over at Sherwood Engineering for what that feature is good for. But for the most of us, especially us in Australia, off is awesome. All right, so we'll get out of that. The USB is right. It's about the middle of the band. I like the 1K tuning step. Oh, 1K tuning step. Oh, yep, that's what I want. That's perfect. Okay, VFO5's blank, and we'll hit memory right. Now, bear in mind, you probably could change, you probably could change the filter too if you want. So let's give that a try. Let's say for whatever reason I wanted filter 2 to apply to the 20 meter band. So we'll overwrite this. Yes, we will. And we'll go into VM mode. And let's see what happens. On 20 meters, I'm using filter 1. On 15 meters, I'm using filter 2 and power amp. Awesome, that's what we want. Well, that was good for the demonstration anyway. Let's write that back. Okay, now, what are we in the 15 meter band? Well, there's only really one other band, isn't there? Let's put it in. Clear. Oh, no, that's right, you don't have to clear. 27, 3, oh, wait. No, just kidding. 28, I didn't even get on this band. My antenna doesn't work, but let's have a look. 28,500 was what my proper radio proper radio to my transceiver defaulted to, so we'll go with that one. And that was a joke with the 11 meter band thing, by the way. Not that having it in your receiver would be a problem, I'm sure. So there we go. Antenna 1. Well, my Discone does actually pick up some stuff on the 10 meter band, so allegedly, just maybe. But I still want to have antenna 2. I'm going to say we're going to have a preamp on. And yeah, that's all looking good. Memory right. Oh, whoop, no, that's the 15 meter band spot. Better go up one. Oh no, we're in memo. What do we do? Now, if you get stuck and you're in memo, if you turn dial C here, you're going to lose all your settings. But there is a solution. Hold down this button. I think you get a beep. You probably heard it in the background. I was just too busy listening to the sound of my own voice. And then press it again, just a touch. And you'll see it set the VFO to the settings that you'd played around with when you're in memory mode. So we'll go up to spot number 6, hit memory right. Oh no, hit and hold memory right. Done. There you go. So now, if you're like me, when you press here, it scares the heck out of you that, there's no ham bands. Perfect solution. Make the first six or whatever memories, all your ham bands with your different settings. Couldn't be easier. And there's some radio there, but I better get rid of that quickly before I get a copyright strike because it's pop radio. This is Jarrad VK3BL. Hope you've enjoyed that little tip for those of us who are hams. And as far as we're concerned, all receivers should have, shortcuts to the popular ham bands. And I'm just sort of kidding about that. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Catch you later.